Don't you just love it when you find that perfect shop? You know, you're walking along the street and you wander across a shop that absolutely nails it. It nails what they're trying to do and it nails that shop local message. You know, I was in Canberra the other day and I got to see this shop called Pop Canberra. It started as a pop-up shop and now it's permanent. And I just want to share with you some of the photos that I took because, you know, what I found about this was this is an amazing experience. You know, you're walking along the street, you see Pop Canberra, and that tells me that it's probably a pop-up shop and it's about things in Canberra. So you step inside and you know there's this message that greets you. This is what local shopping looks like. And I have to say, you know, sometimes there are marketing messages that we make in our businesses that don't quite land, that aren't reflected by the experience. The experience I had in the shop was 100% this. It is really what shopping local looks like. It was absolutely fantastic. You know, their use of cool phrases in the shop, the way they engage with shoppers, but it's their products, the fact that they're all connected with Canberra in one way or another. Really good stories connected to the product. So as you enter and you turn to the right, this is what I happen to see, which is just fantastic. And then you go and have a look at items like this. So you've got a candle, and I mean everybody's selling candles. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of candle makers out there. But you know, the Hills Hoist Heaven, that speaks to me. You know, I'm an Australian. I remember Hills Hoist. And so there's this local connection that I think is fun. You know, they've got over 250 makers represented in Pop Canberra. And I think that's the thing that's very special about this shop. So as you move around the shop, you get to see more of their style and more of the products they're pitching. So here they've got some words on this cabinet that's got a glass. You can see my reflection at the window, but you've got a glass protection for the cabinet. It says whatever is in these cabinets smells really good, and it's just another way of saying, hey, you know, we're really cool, we're really hip, we've got products in here that are interesting, even if you have to go behind the glass to actually find out what the products are. Everything's displayed really well. Of course, front and center. I was there just before Easter, so you've got these Easter products, and this isn't the Easter stuff you're going to see in Coles or Woolworths. This is really interesting Easter stuff that, to me, looked very appealing, and it's the kind of stuff I'd be really happy to give as a gift. I was really quite impressed with that. You know, you've got sure the egg speckles, but you had lots of other wonderful things as well, including this block of chocolate in a wooden spoon, which I thought was very cool. And then this tiny little kind of looks like a popsicle type chocolate Easter gift, which very smart, very clever, really engaging. What really took my fancy was down the back, there's this wall, excuse me, of earrings, an amazing wall of earrings. And each one of them, you can see there's the pink and then there's the black and so on. Each of those are different makers for products that they're representing. Absolutely fantastic. Really stunning, stunning earrings at good low cost prices, everyday prices that people who are buying 3 and 4 and 5 sets of earrings to wear over a period of time, they're going to be very satisfied with what they can see in this situation. I was really impressed with the range they had. A lot of whimsical designs, fun designs, absolutely fantastic, really caught my attention. I just loved the resin earrings so much. And yes, I did buy some. You'll see that in a moment. Elsewhere, they've got homewares that are made in Canberra, really well presented. You know, this is not about a corporate retail display. This is a very shoppable display. It's a kind of display that I'd like to see in a store that's following kind of a treasure hunt retail approach, which is what these guys do. Each display draws me further into the store. It really wants me to explore what they've got. Because, you know, even though they say they've got 250 makers, I was in the shop and it really did feel like that. There's tremendous variety in terms of the products that they happen to cover, you know, including these wooden covered, you know, journals and pads and albums and things like that. Very small display, but really interesting, very niche, very appealing. Capital socks. You know, Canberra, of course, is the capital of Australia. And so it's logical they have capital socks. It's a bit of fun, again, a bit whimsical and really good to connect. There's some really good books there. They give you a little bit of history of Canberra, kids' books, adult books, really interesting range of books that are available. And then you've got Canberra-related art. You know, you've got some quintessential, like the bus shelter and different signs and things like that. You know, the carillon that's on the lake. You've got these really classic Canberra images created in a very artistic form for people to see. And then talking about bus shelters, you've got the beautiful bus shelters of Canberra. And, they're well known right around Canberra. And yes, there's a book about these bus shelters. And there is a jigsaw puzzle, or multiple jigsaw puzzles, actually. This one caught my attention. Maybe you'll understand why. But it's a jigsaw puzzle of one of the bus shelters of Canberra. And then you've got iron-on patches that you can get that connect you with Canberra. You've got, these patches have, of course, the bus shelter on there. You've got a mug with a bus shelter on there. And then you've got beautiful bus shelter sticker set. So, they're really leaning into the whole fun of the unique bus shelters that Canberra has. And I think that's very cool because as a tourist, I'm happy to pick up something like this and take back to people and help them understand the Canberra experience. Then there's the Book of Canberra, and there are multiple books like this that give you the Canberra story, which is just wonderful. As I said before, jigsaws, you've got a whole range of jigsaws there. And then you've got what's really interesting from a retail point of view is they're not using the one a type of fixture, the one type of visual texture. You've got rectangular tables, you've got round tables like this one, different layers, different textures, different sizes, different shapes, helping to give you a retail experience that really is different. You don't feel like you're in this corporate business where everything is being done clockwork. This is a business that's run by creatives to represent creatives to really pitch product in an interesting and appealing way. I loved it so much. And on the other side of the table, even you've got a really broad mixture of items. You can see there, you've got jewelry, you've got earrings, you've got kids' toys, you've got all sorts of things just in this one display area. And then you've got more candles to choose from, more scents, really interesting from the higher end kind of luxurious ones to the more practical and fun and again, whimsical to connect with. A couple of products that I really liked. Vegan recipes for the broken lazy. This is issue number 1. It's $13. It's like a self-published cookbook, and it looks fantastic. And then you've got one next to it, which is the next version, vegan recipes for the broken lazy, issue number 2. And somebody's just got these recipes that they've used over time, and they've kind of photocopied them or printed them in some way so that it's effective, this little self-published book, which is fantastic. And then from the same people, What I Wish I Knew at 22, really cool. And that if you buy these books to give to somebody, they're not getting them from anybody else, which is what's unique about Shop Local. Shop Local is about connecting you with things that really are unique, that represent the local area. And what better than these sorts of books to represent that local area? There's a section of the shop that's got these cards, really absolutely fantastic cards that connect with Canberra in a number of different ways. You've got the images of Canberra, you've got the word Canberra over there. And then you've also got card makers. So here you've got the bus shelter again, but you've got these card makers who are located in Canberra. Really interesting range, absolutely fantastic. And then there's a physical column in the shop that's obviously holding up, it's there for structural reasons. And here you've got wrapping paper really cleverly placed on the column, which I thought was just absolutely fantastic. Again, it's this whole treasure hunt retail approach. Every step that you take, every corner, every move that you make within the shop, you're seeing something different. They're not overpowering each section with too much stuff. So I go from the cards to the wrapping paper. Really cool, logical, makes a lot of sense. You've got really cool little handmade crochet items here. I think they're crochet, I guess they are, that are little key rings, I think. Again, fun, simple, easy gift, low-cost gift, easy to pick up, and creative. And then you get to something like this, the original brownie mix. And in this jar here on the left, you take everything in that jar, you add a couple of other things. I think it might be an egg and it might be some milk. I'm not sure. I haven't got the recipe in front of me. But basically, you've got everything else that you need in there. All the dry ingredients are in there, layered beautifully. You take all that, put it together, and you've got a brownie mix. You've got a protein ball mix. Really fun. These tier jars I thought were wonderful. And of course, again, because we're in Pop Canberra, here's the message, made in Canberra. Really clever, very simple, very straightforward. And then you've got the hot tomato sauce, hot chili jam. You've got the chili sauce over there on the left-hand side. So this is a shop that is, you've got stationery, you've got jewelry, you've got jigsaws, you've got cards, you've got wrapping paper, you've got chili. and tomato sauce. And you've got a ton of alcohol that's made in Canberra. This is what's wonderful about this shop, because it epitomizes shop local, because everything here is locally sourced. All of the makers are local makers. Very, very clever. The people behind this business have really thought it through, and they've created an experience. And look at that wall of alcohol there. That it's not like you see in the big alcohol shops. This is, it feels curated, it feels boutique, it feels that they put it together for me so that I'm seeing a nice depth of range. At the counter, when you go to check out, you've got more items here. You've got some more premium jewelry items, really nice, really well presented and easy to shop. They've made the announcement that it's no longer a pop-up shop, it's here to stay, but it really has that pop-up feel, and I really like that. I hope they don't lose that at all. What you buy is put in a really nice bag, so it's presented well, carrying their brand forward. And then at the front of the shop, there's this pitch. Opening hours, great to see. Do you want to sell there? Do you want to sell products there? And they're making it really easy to connect to be able to do that. And I thought that was really, really smart. I thought Pop Canberra was just fantastic. Like I said, I was just wandering along. I was in Canberra for something else, walking along. I saw it, and I'm disappointed in myself that I wasn't aware of it sooner than this. It's absolutely fantastic. Yes, I bought some alcohol, a little taster of a couple of alcohols that are available, Canberra made. What's interesting about it is, first of all, this is from a company called Underground Spirits. So everything that you buy there that's packaged is really professionally packaged. And I think Pop Canberra helps or guides some of the makers who need help to do that. But you've got the product there where you can actually see the product easily through the box. So they've thought about how the product is presented. When you make your purchase, you get it in a bag like this. And so in this bag here, I bought this for a friend because I just thought it was pretty cool to give them, ugly sweater earrings. But this is really interesting because, again, this is a pop-up shop for makers. Everything has got a barcode on there. So, really small barcode. You've got a description of the item. The item's presented well on a backing card, and it comes with a professional bag. So, it's a maker business. It's representing local makers who you might see on Etsy and platforms like that. But they're doing it in a way that's very professional, very engaging. I was there on a Saturday afternoon. The shop had plenty of people in there. Most of us who were in there were buying items. And I learned a lot about how to do shop local really well, particularly in regional and rural Australia. And I think there are some lessons that I can take away if I was going to do that in one of my own shops, where it's about sourcing the products locally, helping the makers present their products well, and then being fun in the way you tell the story about connecting with that local and making sure that you have items that aren't only made local or designed local and made by local makers, but items themselves that speak to being local, like the bus shelter, jigsaws, cards, mugs and stickers. So making sure that you've got items that people can take away to connect with that. Canberra's not a massive city. Sure, it's Australia's capital, but it's not a massive city. So they don't have millions and millions of people in their population. But from their small population, they're able to fill the shop with 250 makers worth of products, which I think is fantastic. And I think, we've got a lot of towns and regional areas in Australia where we could do similarly as a shop within a shop, or even a standalone shop if you wanted to do that. But I think a shop within a shop would work really well. And for me, that's the inspiration that I took from getting to Pop Canberra. I'm really grateful to have got to see it. I'm for sure going to be back there again. And, now that I'm back in Melbourne, I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't buy some of the other items that they had there. They have some fantastic gifts available. So if you are in Canberra, I would say get to see Pop Canberra. From a retailer's point of view, there's a lot to learn. And I think it's really well worth having that experience. I hope you found it interesting. Thanks for watching.